Hello again, everyone. It's time to jump once again to South America and join my friend Jose Gabriel Martinez from Venezuela. This time, Jose Gabriel is lecturing from Barcelona, where he lives nowadays. Dr. Martinez is a young dentist who got his degree from the Universidad Central de Venezuela and then finished his first postgraduate program in oral surgery in 2008, exactly in the same university. Jose Gabriel decided then to travel to Europe to attend the Restorative and Aesthetic Dental Master degree at the Universitat Internacional of Catalonia in Spain, Barcelona, where he lectures nowadays as a member of the faculty. Dr. Martinez is the co-founder and member of the Green Dental Academy, directed by Dr. Edward McLaren, and is a speaker for Meserian, Vita and INIPSA. Jose Gabriel will present PSD, Photoshop Smile Design, a dental digital planning approach, a new form of planning in aesthetic dentistry. I hope you like his presentation. See you in a couple of hours.
Hello everyone, I am Dr. Jose Gabriel Martinez and I will be here to talk to you about smile design concept. To be clear, Photoshop smile design concept, a planification and communication tool. I strongly recommend you to pay attention to this lecture because maybe it will be really helpful for you in your daily practice. First of all, I have to say that I'm really honored and happy to be here with you guys and happy to be invited to this great event as a speaker by my good friend Joao Borges. Now today in this International Aesthetic Master 2017 amount of these are huge people, stars of dentistry that I really follow every day, that I've been learning from them. Such Francesca Bailati, Mario Fradiani, and several others. So this is for me an exciting opportunity, and I'm really grateful to be part of this amazing event. So who I am? I'm a guy who was born and raised in Venezuela. I studied my degree as a dentist at the Universidad Central de Venezuela, which is in Caracas, the capital of my country. And after different studies I've been doing, or I did for several years, I decided to go for a aesthetic master degree, and that's when I came here to Barcelona, Spain, where I live now. And also I did my master and also a research program that we have there. And after that, the master is mainly of aesthetic rehabilitation, restoration, and rehabilitation over implants. And at the university, I was asked to be part of this amazing staff of professors. I don't consider myself professor yet, even though I teach at the university. To be part of the undergrad program where I'm teaching operative dentistry and also addition. We have amazing small lab where I have the different toys to do adhesive protocols and tests. And also to be part of the staff of professors of the MORE, that we call it, the Master in Oral Restorative Dentistry. Which is a great program that I strongly recommend to come if you are thinking about aesthetic master programs. We have CAD/CAM devices. We go digitally most of our cases, and with aesthetics. So after hearing who I am and where I come from, let's do that. Let's go and talk about Photoshop Smile Design. This is my email address. In case you want to contact me, ask me anything. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. So we're going to talk about PSD as a concept, the different applications that we can do with this protocol, the protocol itself, and then I will finish with a clinical case that I did several years ago, which is maybe one of my favorite, not because it's my best case ever, it's because it's a daily case. There's something I think you can apply and be more realistic and not fantastic cases like people just show these amazing pictures, you know. So this is a Photoshop Smile Design. As I told you, was powered and developed by Edward McLaren. And think green, because you have to start thinking differently, please. Everything I will be speaking today is here at these two digital DVDs, yes. I'm sorry about the thing is Spanish, English, and all language make my head crazy. So in these two DVDs, you're going to be able to get all the information that I will be sharing with you. The first one is a digital smile design using Photoshop, and the second one is the dental photography protocol. Both of this information, where to buy this one or to get this, are able here at the edwardmclaren.com website. So when you start thinking green, also you start thinking out of the box, because when you have a patient that comes to your clinic, you have to start thinking not just on the tooth that he came for. If it's really true, people have to go for what the patient is coming. The main request. Okay, doctor, I have a pain here in my tooth. Yes, but in other cases are just people are coming and thinking and asking, oh, you know what, I saw something on TV. I thought these people have different teeth, and can you do something for me? So you got the attention of the patient, and then you have to start thinking big, differently. You have to start thinking in design, not just smile design, but also you start thinking in facial, because the face is something that is really important for you in order to design anything, the expression, the emotion of the patient. Also, going deeply after you got the face, you go for dental, you go for gingiva, you go for small stuff after going for the macro stuff. And finally, is when you decide with all the information to do a smile design. This project that you create is the one you will show your patient previously any treatment. That way, the patient can have the main idea how will be the final outcome, but please be realistic and don't create fake and false expectative to the patient. So you have to be clear that you have or you need a good relationship, communication with your lab technician, and also you have to know your capacity, which will be what are you capable to do, because you cannot just create a necessity or create something that you don't know how to go forward. So if you don't know how to do it, but you're good selling your stuff, so bring someone that maybe can help you to create these final outcomes, talk to a different lab, and go for a different practice. Yes? So, This protocol was created by Edward McLaren. This was around, I think, 2000s. However, he just kept the information for the students at UCLA at that time. Now the doc is at the University of Alabama in Birmingham, and so he just created this protocol based on Photoshop, Adobe Photoshop, which everyone knows because it's maybe one of the strongest or big program for design anything mostly, and also this protocol and this concept was the photography of the protocol of the doctor was included. So there's three main and easy and readable, really easy to read articles I will share today with you. Will be the Photoshop Smile Design photography, the smile analysis, and then the smile analysis going from the analog to the digital world. The first one talk about basically the fundamentals of photography, what camera to choose in a daily practice, what lens, flashes, and also they talk about the different photography photograph that you need for a Photoshop protocol, PSD, Photoshop Smile Design protocol. Then also he always recalls something that is really important, and maybe I differ from some of my colleagues that say that the the raw format is a heavy format, but I have to say that it's a format that allows me to have all the information of the photos, and then I can, if I want to manage, I can manage. If you want to send it, I can send it. And these are not faking photography. No, just is having like the negative of this photo that you took. If you're doing raw in Canon will be CR2, and if you're doing raw in Nikon will be in F. Okay, the format that you see. Then in the second article, what he explained mostly is the macro analysis of face, that just go for a facial analysis, and then go for a dental periodontal analysis, because it's really important to just go from macro to micro. And the third article is analysis going from analog to the CAD-CAM world, where our design in Photoshop can go for the CAD-CAM, which is we can basically finish our design going for milling and create a prototype which we can try on the patient and to see how he looks or she looks like. It's like a mock-up, but we call it prototype. This is the Photoshop Smile Design logo, again powered by Dr. Edward McLaren. We have to establish a communication with the patient, so this is why it is so important to create this Smile Design project in order to communicate the patient what we can do for him. Part of my dental analysis come from also this amazing book that is Aesthetic Rehabilitation in Fixed Prosthodontics, where I can find this facial dental analysis, dental labial phonetic, dental and gingival analysis, which I can summary has the main thing for everything if you want to do aesthetics and smile designs. And then I kept all this information and put in a Photoshop, just having the main idea of the patient, proportions of the face, and what the patient wants at the end. This is an amazing book that I strongly recommend you, from Mauro Fradiani, which is amazing doctor and professor. So applications for the Photoshop Smile Design. There are several applications that we can do. People ask me all the time, hey, can I do some smile design? Can I apply the Photoshop concept, Photoshop Smile Design concept? I say yes, but they say, oh, but I'm ortho, or I do implants, or I do perio. So I don't care if you do one of the things. Everyone in dentistry is doing aesthetics. If you do perio, you have to do something aesthetically approved by the patient. If you do ortho, at the same time you do the same thing. If you do implants, the same thing. So everyone is doing aesthetics. So this can be applied for any of the specialties in dentistry, and anyone can assist of one of the courses that we offer. So if you do dental aesthetic, I will basically explain you three things. We can do bleaching on the patient. We can go digital waxing, avoiding maybe doing the conventional waxing, which I don't avoid because I really like to do and enjoy it, and doing some rehabilitations. So I will play a small video. I will show you a really easy case when I closed I did some diastema close, and at the same time some bleaching. Okay, this is one of the persons the doctors who participate on one of my courses. So what we do in Photoshop is we create some labels which are here, and we duplicate the information that we have, and we use two different tools here. We use the dodge tool, and we use the liquify tool. Okay, the dodge tool allows us to bleach, and the liquify to do this diastema close. Even though it's a small one, we can change what the people have at the beginning and what the people we have at the end, and show them that can have a different smile, or different different smile, different teeth. So we do the small changes with the liquify, and then we do the bleaching with the dodge tool. Both are easy tools that we have on Photoshop, and that we teach how to use it. So this is a basic case for you to start thinking that you can do Photoshop Smile Design in just 5 minutes. Okay, then we have these people who do perio. So they say, what can we do Photoshop Smile Design? We can do a crown lengthening digitally, and we can get a connective tissue graft also on the patient to see how he will get this final amazing result that you will achieve, because I'm sure that you will. So in this case, it was a case that I was going to do some veneers, and I asked my perio partner to do something for me, to create some different contour on the gingiva. So with the liquify tool, we go for an easy way to do it. We have our image, we duplicate our image, and we can modify our gingiva going easily with the liquify tool. We can put some gingiva and we take some gingiva out, creating a better contour. Also, we close a little bit this space, this black triangle, and as you see, I'm not using templates in this case. I'm using their own teeth, because the patient just wants to see something different. Okay, but you have to just be careful and go step by step. Sometimes if you feel that you can go straight to the templates, you can go. Templates that we offer also, but I try to play with the patient teeth and to see what they feel, what they think, and to listen to them and hear their thoughts also. And when we go to the ortho, dental aesthetic, and also perio, we can do 3 things. I love these cases when we can share with different colleagues the different situations and discuss them. Okay, so in this case, this patient have ortho treatment. Most of the time, these people get to the class 1 molar, and the ortho people are really happy. So I do a lot of these cases where I have to just finish it. They say, can we do some veneers? Can we do some bleaching? What can we do? So how you see, you have different margins, zenith. At the same time, the contours are really not similar in between each other in the teeth. One lateral is almost higher than the centrals, and at the same time, times there are some spaces that we have to close and to see. So my proposal was to do some veneers and some crown lengthening to get a final results which the patient wants that after 2 years of ortho. So we always see the contour of the tooth. Why? Because we go for a library in this case. We go for a template that we have of our all cases that we've been taking photograph, and we just can go and place one teeth on what group of teeth from our templates in an easy way, and we can just try to erase this ortho before the doctor take it out, and then also to see that we can change the margins of the laterals and show the patient what can we achieve at the end. Okay, so using templates always it works. Now after seeing the applications for the Photoshop Smile Designs in the different specialties of dentistry, we will have to talk about a short protocol because this will be maybe 2 days course, and I just want you to get some information that you can maybe start thinking to apply in your practice. So we have to take some photography, of course. We have to take some impressions in this case. If you want to go for analog part, then we do the analysis, just always reminding the macro, that is a facial, and then the more details in the micro, dental, and gingival labial on the Photoshop Smile Design, and then transfer everything to the lab. Okay. On the facial analysis, what we do is we try to get the proportions of the face, respecting that patient has. We go for the plane that we can create a digital incisal plane that will explain you. Then we go for dental when we have the architecture of the teeth and at the same time the dental and labial part. And finally we go for the smile design when we have all the proportion of the face, proportion of the tooth that we want to create, and then we create everything and we play by the rule, by the book. That's why I recommend you to go for the Mauro Fradiani book, because it's an amazing one. So we take the profile pictures, and we, as Fradiani said, it's very important because we get really good details. We go for an intraoral picture. What I do in the intraoral picture is I always take the patient came to the clinic. I don't make up. I don't do I don't know, a special photo, because I want the patient to see how she or he came. And also it's not my best picture. Why? Because I want to improve my quality of the picture during my treatment, and this will allow me to go from the basic where the patient came to this fantastic picture that maybe at the end I will take, and the patient will see more than difference from the beginning to the end. For the extraoral proportions, also one tip is important is when you take the photography for the Photoshop, you have to see and you have to check your camera, because depending on the camera you have, this will be the meters between, or the distance between you and your objective, the patient, that you have to keep in order to respect these proportions of the face of the patient and the tooth at the same time. If you respect the distance between you and the object, maybe there will be some difference between maybe your partner that took the same picture with another camera and you. A crop sensor is the camera that most of the dentists have today, and the full sensor are these professionals that cameras that allow us to see more and to have more information, but like everything good is expensive. In the extraordinary pictures we get some cheek retractors, and one thing that is really important is this one, the dental incisal plane. Why? Because allow us to see the plane of the upper teeth, always remembering that the incisors are the ones who maybe rule everything, and we can translate also this plane to our bipupillar line and all the different third and proportion of the tooth to see if we are in proportion, and also to align this picture with the other pictures that we already have. Because if we take the pictures in the same distance, keeping the same proportions in our lens, we can just put one picture over the other one, and we can make these little changes and not having distortion. However, I know that it's not so easy maybe, because the patient can just put the face up or up and down. There is one trick that I learned from a good friend that took the Christian Kochman course, that he places this small box of glove in the back, and always the patient have the same posture, the same way, the same way to put the face and not change it. So this is a good tip to do it. So after all the information that we have, and then we decide to go for different tooth proportion and shape and everything, we go for the lab communication. In this order, I will demonstrate you how we go from 0 to a full case of 20 veneers that we did using the whole concept from the analog part, photography, doing Photoshop, Smile Design, going for detail, and then placing the veneers. Okay? So let's do this. Let's go for a case. In this case, this patient just came to our clinic at the university, and he asked for a big change of his smile, because what he wants is to basically, as you will see in the pictures, is to change the color, because the tetracycline that did the disaster of changing the color of his teeth, and he has been having maybe some difficulties to live with this color, and he just wanna change it. So when we have the patient, the first things that we have to take, we take the extraoral pictures, and we see the profile of the patient. We see if it's convex, if it's concave, or it's straight. This case is a convex. Then we see the nasolabial analysis to see maybe if we have too much support on the upper lips or not. So this always helps us to do our design. Also, we have to see the proportions. As I told you, we find the proportions, and we see if this is a proportional guy or not, if we have to make some changes, or if the lines between the interpupillar lines and incisal edge and everything are okay. Then when we take the intraoral pictures, we take one in rest, one in smile, and the other one with the cheek retractors. One thing that is really important when you do a smile design is that you cannot do photography when you say to the patient, hey, can you smile with the cheek retractors, and the people just smile, putting the or biting or occluding the teeth, and this is not a real smile. The real smile is like the second one here in the center, when you have some space between the incisal edge of the incisors and the lip. This is natural smile. And then we have to try to do the same thing with the intraoral picture, having some space between the incisors in the upper and the lower, in order to make these changes of the length and width. So we have the pictures already. We start thinking what we will do, and at the same time we need some articulators. In this case, it's because we mount in our cases all in articulators, and we have to try to do our best cast models, even though sometimes there are some small mistakes, but need to be clean and pretty, because we will measure these ones. Then we will have the photograph, we have the cast models, and then we have to start thinking what type of teeth we're going to be placing to this patient, because we already saw the macro analysis with the face and also the intraoral pictures, and maybe we can ask the patient to come with all photographs and see how was when he was younger. So we have these templates that can help us to move and change the type of tooth that we want to place in this case. And first, you can see there is a different teeth. And one thing that is really important to understand is if you have, for example, a space 8 by 10 millimeters, maybe you can do in the same space 3 different kind of tooth, because it will depend mostly of the primarily anatomy that will be the transitional lines of the tooth, because this will change the way optically how you see this tooth. So you can have the same width and the same length, 3 different, for example, tooth will be more square tooth, triangle tooth, avoided tooth, and this will be part of the dental analysis that we did. So with the templates, we will help a lot to place some tooth on the patient and see which one is more appropriate to him, and which one is he feel more happy to see him with the tooth, or we can go for using their own teeth, the patient's own teeth, and to manage and change the different length and width and proportions and whatever you want to change. So when we have all this information, we need to measure each tooth that we have, that we can go doing it on the mouth, and we can do it on our cast models, okay, just to see the proportions. And then we measure each tooth. In this case, we start with from the 15 to the 25, because we're gonna be 10 upper, and later later 10 on the lower veneers. So with the two proportions, it's important to know the different proportions that the nature offers us, and the different ways to see the sizes of the teeth that we can place to our patients in case there are diastemas, or maybe we have to recreate a new teeth. And in this book is amazing, and is I don't know, I love it, because this guy just went to nail it. He I don't know, he punched really hard, and he created this amazing book, Pascal Magnier. I don't know, I believe that there is no one on earth that doesn't know this guy. He has this restoration on porcelain and book that allow to see you different ways to see proportions, and depending if there are women's or men's or standards ones. So I strongly recommend you to read it, and at the same time to allow you to see more deeply the dental analysis itself. Okay, so with the case, what we do, we take the photograph of this patient, okay, and we go to Photoshop. And Photoshop, what we have to do is to measure the teeth. Measure the teeth is measuring the length and the width, and how we do it, and how we calibrate this. So we we use one tool that's really nice from Photoshop, that is the ruler tool. And this ruler tool, we can calibrate it and change it to millimeters, because this is my measure unit I'm using, in order just to transfer this information to the analog world when we will do the waxing and then do our restorations. We do the length, we do the width, and then we start changing our teeth. We change length, we change width, we close this diastema in the center, but as you see, I'm using his own teeth. I'm not using a template. Why? Because in this case, I just wanted to do it. Because I think a radical transformation maybe will scare him. And I went for using his own teeth. And this is one of the things that Photoshop allows you to do. Because maybe there are other systems that always will play some templates over, but they are more difficult to use their own teeth to do smile designs. Okay? So we have here the first prototype digitally done. Then what happened? We start just making more luminosity, just changing the value, the color, because also we can do color in Photoshop. But this thing will be taught by my good friend John Figueira in another lecture. So here we change the value of our teeth using the dash tool, and with this tool we can change the color. And this patient start thinking, oh my god, I came for these 10 veneers, maybe I can do later 10 veneers in the lower jaw. So now what? We have photograph, we have cast model, we have measurements of each teeth, and we have all the information that we need. How can we transfer this? And how can we transfer to the final thing? To see later a mock-up or prototype. So let's do it. So we have the digital measurement and we have the analog measurement that we did with digital calibration. Then with this small and short formula, we can go from digital dimensions, dividing for analogic dimensions. And for example, for a 1.1 or number 9, I think, or 8, I don't know, in the other thing, we have the digital measurement that would be 127. Remember that we put in millimeters already, so this we can just, with this formula, go for transforming this digital measurement to the real one. And we divided for a real measurement of the tooth that was 8.8, and we got 14.5. That means that if we increase 14.5 in length digitally, we are getting in real world 1 millimeter in analogic world. So we can increase 1 millimeter in incisor in our wax-up. So what happened? If we are doing this and we see the difference between what the patient has and what the patient will have, and we see that not just was 14.5, but it was also 29, because it was the double of the distance. So we have what? We have 2 millimeters that we increase. So having this information, value information that the patient just already saw and he accepted because he liked it, so we can do ourselves in case you do your own waxing, or we can send it to the lab and say, you know what, this is where I come from, this is where my design went, and this is the distance between the length and width that we have at the beginning and we have at the end. And this lab technician just will follow your instructions, so there will be no surprises for you. So we got the wax up already done. We did the wax up following our measurements. So then we went to the prototype or mock-up, having our wax up done. we go for our preparation following the Garicurel technique and then prepare our veneers. We take our impressions and we found that we have our models already. So that's why I told you that I was trying to go for analog to the full digital stuff. So we transferred the information that we already did on the CAD/CAM system. In this case, it was with CEREC, and what we did is we scan our mockup and we scan our wax and we scan our tooth, and then we just copycat the information that we have. And we just maybe measure and change a little bit things because sometimes, depending on the material that you will use, you will need a certain amount of thickness in order to mill it. Okay? So we went for a digital workflow. We scan it, we get all the information that we want, we get a closer view. In this case, this patient, basically what he wants, was a white teeth because he has the thing of the tetracycline that has been, I don't know, having trouble with the color, and this patient just wanted a white. It was something that I didn't like to do, but if the patient wishes, then I think at the end you will do what the patient wants. So we, with the veneers, we tried to push with a different color, but the guy just wanted some white, and we milled it, and then we stained it a little bit, but just it was a monolithic restorations, which nowadays people has a lot of CEREC or different other systems, and then trying to mill it on the clinic, like using their share size system, and then a milling. And so this is, I think, real case that you can maybe do or try to do in your clinic with your system, which I don't know which one will be or the one you have. But going monolithic is something that is not like I really like to do, but in some cases you need to go for it, and you need to know how to do it. So in this case, we went for all the bonding process. We do isolation. We try to do most of the time, and then we cement it. We bond it. A closer view. And this is the patient when he saw himself in the picture with his new restoration, his new teeth, his new veneers, the white one he wanted. What happened this moment? The patient just was motivated and he just came for 10 veneers. This is a before and after case. Before and after case. Patient motivated. What happened? He went for a second round, so we did the veneers in the lower jaw. Also with the digital workflow, but at the beginning we prepare our restoration, we prepare our teeth, so the 10 veneers in the lower jaw. Then we went for the digital again, we scan, we did everything, the same process of the upper jaw. And we went for a protocol for cementation. Okay, great job by my good friend Mateo Bruno. And then we have these results. Will be the before and the after. And we follow our protocol on Photoshop in your clinic. Having the patient in your clinic, having the patient in front of you, having small details, small changes that will improve and motivate the patient to go for a better restoration, to go for a final results that will change maybe his life. So this is our patients for the with the upper and the lower places already, and that's what at the end what happens is that you want not just to do veneers all the time, to do crowns, to do composite. You want to change life. You want to change people's life. You want to improve his quality or their quality of life. So how you can do it? How can you do it? You have to know a digital smile design protocol. You have to do a smile design protocol. In this case, you do a Photoshop smile design protocol that allow you to change color, shape, using templates, using the own patient's teeth, and creating this alternative for him. Always taking in consideration the patient first motivation of consulting you, and at the same time you have to know what you are capable to do and what your technician is capable to do. So never create a fake or false expectation to the patient, but go for motivated him for a motivational dentistry to change the way he sees himself, and to tell him that you can do something better for him. You have to take courses, you have to prepare yourself, you have to read books, you have to go for articles, you have to go there, because it's not just taking a picture with a camera or an app or a phone or whatever. Yeah, the cell phones are taking amazing pictures, the iPad also, and there are all these apps that help you to do everything. But don't forget that you have to know about proportions, analysis, facial, dental, labial, gingiva, and everything. And basically that everything goes with occlusion, because without occlusion nothing will work. Okay? This lecture is going to finish. Sadly, because I'm really happy to just share this protocol to you. So in the conclusions of this lecture, over other protocols, maybe it's a protocol that's really easy, it's low cost, because the only thing that you need is Adobe Photoshop that you can just download, and I think it's a really cheap program, because for a small amount of money monthly you can just have this amazing software. At the same time, it can be used for any professional in dentistry, not just dentists but also technicians. Okay, don't forget that it's a motivational tool, because you change people's life before I start doing anything. You motivate the patient to just go forward for the treatment, and because you are showing them a preview of this final outcome that you will achieve, and at the same time facilitate a better control over our dental treatments, and a better communication, not just with the patient but with the lab, because we are able to manage our shape, our measurements of the tooth, and we can put it on the face of the patient, just see what he likes or not our design, and go forward for our waxing digitally or analogically, and then to do a mock-up or prototype, going for bisacryl like always, or maybe just meal this prototype and try on the patient, and then go for the final restorations. So to do a smile design, you need to start changing your thoughts. There is no way that you will achieve good results and nice restorations, and to improve your practice, your clinic, and your I don't know, your incomes every month, if you don't go for a smile design. So just don't think too much about it and go forward, okay? This is one thing that one of my favorite artists, is a Venezuelan, say Carlos Cruz Diaz. El arte libera al hombre y yo soy libre porque soy artista. It's like the art just make people free, and I'm free because I'm an artist. I'm far away to become a professor, even though I believe that I know and I have something in my hands. I believe that I know and I have something in my hands that are just changing people's life. People in the clinic and people that take our courses or my courses in the several areas that I work with. As I told you, I'm working with photography, I'm working with smile design, composite, with different companies that support myself during my lectures and practice also. Okay, so don't put a ceiling over your head and go forward. Educate yourself. Take courses. Educate yourself. But at the end also do not get crazy with all the information that you receive. You have to, it's like when you eat, you have to just taste it and see if you really like it or not. And then you can repeat and just improve yourself in the technique you want to apply to your patients. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you to the International Aesthetic Master, Joao Borges. Thank you for the Photoshop Smile Design Group, empowered by Dr. McLaren. Thanks all the time, I will say forever. Thank you for the opportunity to be part of this group. And thanks to my university, UIC Barcelona, which I strongly recommend you to visit in order to do aesthetic master program or to do undergrads to become a dentist. So this is it. We finished. So if you want to contact me for any other requests about Photoshop Smile Design or any other thing about color, composite, or ceramics, just feel free to contact me and I will be more than happy to help you or to guide you anything that I'm able to or capable to do. Also, you can visit my site on social media, Facebook and Instagram. If you want to follow me, we can share information. And this is it. Thank you, International Aesthetic Master, for the invitation. And thank you, everyone, for taking the time to see my presentation.